Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to the Blue Butterfly Tarot. Today we're doing a live tarot reading. So for today's live tarot reading, there are three tiers available. The first one is the live yes, no, or timing question. So if your question can be answered with a yes or a no, or you're looking for the timing of a particular situation, then that would be the tier for you. If your question cannot be answered with a yes and a no, then that would be an open-ended question. For that, we have the open-ended single card question where I'll be pulling out one card per question. And then there is the open-ended three-card question where I'll be pulling out three cards for a question. Now, more cards, there's more hidden layers, deeper insight, more energy exchange. So it really depends on what you're looking for at this point, all right? Now, these lives are an avenue and an opportunity for you to ask your questions and get immediate clarity, comfort, and confirmation. I do offer private readings outside of this. The minimum turnaround time for the private readings, if you choose the express delivery, is about 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, it's about 3 to 5 business days, all right? So I did figure that sometimes the energy is just changing that fast, or sometimes you do need that immediate clarity. So for that, we do have these live tarot readings. I'm here usually every single weekday, and I'm here at a particular time. If you want to know the time slots, then it's there in the post on my YouTube channel. All right. So this is otherwise going to be a muted live. So if there are no questions coming through, I'm muting myself. I'm doing my own thing. I'm taking the time to ground my energy so that I can be at my optimal best to receive energy when there is a registered question coming through. So because of that, I will not be able to respond to general chat messages. Just that I see your energy. I'm able to, it does make me smile. I'm able to, read your comments, but I just will not be able to respond because I need to focus on grounding my energy and staying aligned during these live sessions. All right. Okay, so that is one more message. So I'm going to be just muting myself and I'm going to be taking the time to ground my energy. But I hope you're doing well. If not, I hope that things do feel better. I hope that I'm able to provide some kind of comfort, clarity, and confirmation, whether it is through these live tarot readings or whether it is through the other videos that are there on my YouTube channel. Hi, Jessica. Are you here? I just received your question. Just let me know in like the chat or yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm reading your question. Okay. This is for Jessica. Does Jessica's person still think of her, or has he moved on? I also need more information about this, please, Spirit. I also want to get cards from another deck, so give me a second. Okay. So hold on. We have the King of Swords. Okay, so first off, there are multiple layers to the answers coming through. So the first question is, your person tries his best not to think about you. All right, I hope it's not glaring. Your person tries his best not to think about you. There are thoughts about you, but your person kind of pushes it away. Make sure that they are not indulging in those thoughts at this point in time. I would say that right now your person is a little bit more in their headspace rather than their heart. And it's more of every time they feel the pull towards you, they keep reminding themselves that, no, I have made a decision outside of that connection. I cannot be thinking about her. I cannot be thinking about that connection. And I have to think about what I'm living right now, the connection that I am in right now. So there is an intentional effort that happens on your person's end to shift away from the connection that once existed between the two of you and to focus on the connection that he is in right now. To say that he has moved on or whether he has forgotten you, I would say he hasn't forgotten you. Instead of taking the time to process his emotions about what both of you went through, he is choosing to suppress it. He is choosing to push it away. So I would say that even though these feelings have not come up to the surface just yet, your person seems to be handling it in a more logical way. Let's get more information. I pulled a couple more cards, Two of Wands and the Three of Swords, and we have the Nine of Swords. Okay, so all of these cards are telling me, and we have the Nine of Swords coming through. Your person feels that this is the best decision for him, and he needs to focus on the relationship that he is in. But I have to tell you, this isn't moving on. Moving on means that you process your emotions, you make peace with what has gone down, you have your sense of closure. This does not look like moving on to me. In fact, it looks like suppression. And I will have to say that for now, it is working for your person. For now, all of these emotions are being suppressed and it's not coming up to the surface. Your person is able to handle the thoughts about your connection and divert their mind to other things. But in like the energy coming through is this will not sustain long term. Your person needs to process what he feels for you, what he felt for your connection as well. Another energy that's coming through is that your person is kind of convincing himself that he's okay and that he's moved on and that everything is fine for him. When you start convincing yourself, it's a sign that you haven't actually moved on. You're just tricking yourself into believing that you feel a different way about a connection or a person, right? So these are the thoughts that are coming through and the energy that is coming through. I will say that at this point in time, maybe because it just happened or the energy is fairly new on your person's end, he seems to have a good hold on his thoughts and his emotions, but it will kind of unwind itself after a bit of time, yes. So let me know your thoughts, and then I'll see if any more messages are coming through with your thoughts. It's fairly new. I can see in your person's perspective. So of course, timing is something that is very relative, right? So in your person's perspective, this it's still something that he can control within himself. He can control his thoughts, he can control his feelings at this point in time, and he feels quite good about what he's going through. Yes. So right now, it's like I have to do what is right for me, and this is what is right for me. I cannot be engaging in what I feel is right. This is what my mind tells me. This is the most logical route. This is the most strategic route for me. So I'm going to not be in my heart space, and I'm going to be more in my mental space. So that is the energy that your person is in. But truth be told, I don't think that your person processed your breakup. I would not be surprised if this connection is some kind of a rebound, that your person ended up taking it in a different extreme without even processing what he felt for you and this connection as well. Because we have the Three of Swords, and that's a very clear indication that, first off, there was heartbreak that your person didn't process. Second, there was healing meant to happen before your person, wanted to choose someone else, or before they were ready for another connection. The person has not done that. And there's still an energy of constantly looking back at your connection and you as well. I'm just waiting for your thoughts. Oh, it does feel like rebound energy. I mean, the Three of Swords coming out with the Two of Wands over here, it does look a bit like rebound energy. And like I said, your person has not made this decision with their heart, made this decision with their mind. So even probably choosing her could have been more of a strategic decision on his end, to not have this person remind him of you, to even make sure that, because this connection didn't work out with you, so let's choose someone who's completely different so that it works out, or it will work out with someone who is completely different. Could be that as well. There's a lot about logic and strategy that's coming in on your person's end. The energy coming through is he's definitely not processed. Like, even if you said it happened 2 months ago, I feel like he did not process the ending of your connection. He didn't process what he felt for you as well. I think that right now your person is doing a fairly good job of holding it together in terms of like the mental space that he is in. That's the King of Swords, doing a good job of it. But the energy coming through is this doesn't sustain long term. You can keep up with the charades for a little while, but after a certain point, the strings start to untangle. I would not be surprised. I mean, there's so much of suppression going on his end. So I would not be surprised if some of the energy of that suppression has slipped through, especially if you're very in tune with 5D energy and you're very in tune with your person's energy. I would not be surprised if that suppression of that energy has to go somewhere. I would not be surprised if it has come, maybe in your dreams, or maybe as telepathic visions. Yeah, I would not be surprised. That makes sense. That does. I mean, especially if you're like spiritually attuned, I would say that this is actually absolutely normal. And I would expect more of these dreams to come through, just that your person's in a lot of suppression right now. So that energy has to go somewhere. So I would expect more dreams. I would, if those dreams make you uncomfortable, then you may have to set boundaries. Okay, sure, sure. But I just wanted to say, if those dreams are making you uncomfortable, you may have to set boundaries. You can absolutely do so. But if you're willing to take on that energy and um, it isn't making you feel frazzled when you wake up in the morning, then absolutely. But you can set boundaries for it if it is bothering you. Well, when you say odd, how did you, one thing about like dreams, I would ask is, well, how did you feel about it when you woke up the next day? Like, was it, did it make you panic? Were you kind of a little bit too obsessed about it? Because sometimes that can happen, it's very normal. Or was it more of, this is information and that's it. I'm going to go about my day and I'm going to do my own thing. So, more than the dream by itself, I would ask, well, how did it make you feel when you woke up in the morning? I got your second question. Hold on. If it made you feel a little bit violated, I would put boundaries. So one of the ways that it has worked for me, I'll get into your question in just a little bit, but one of the ways that it had, this helps me, especially when, I also get a lot of like dreams or a lot of other people's energies. Sometimes it kind of messes with my energy, or I feel like I don't want to have access to that kind of energy. So I would say set boundaries. That helps a lot. What you can do is, one of the ways that I set boundaries, it's very simple. I just close my eyes, and then just before going to sleep, I close my eyes, and then I kind of put my fingers like this so that there's energy flow. And I just talk to my spirit guide team. I let them know that please only allow energy that makes me feel peaceful, that aligns with the energy that I am in right now. So that actually helps. I say it about 3 times out loud. And oftentimes, for about a good week or two, I only get energy that feels in alignment with my highest good and with peaceful energy. And then, I have to keep updating that by, keep saying, maybe after 1 or 1.5 weeks that, hey, I want to continue with my filter. So having that filter helps. It really helps. If it makes you feel violated, if it feels wrong, or it's making you very obsessive, or it's making you anxious, it's something that's not sitting right with your energy. It just means that that energy has slipped by, but you can, of course, always make it your choice whether you want to have access to that or not, and you can put in filters. So I will get into your question right now, your second question. I will, for your question, can you give me like a timeline for that? Like maybe 6 months or 1 year? Which one would you prefer? Well, he's intentionally not thinking about you. That's why you're having the dream. That energy is slipping. So it's how do I say this? It's a little bit counterintuitive. He's trying his best not to think about you, and every time he does think about you, he's pushing those thoughts away. Because there is suppression, it's coming to you in your dreams. That energy has to go somewhere. So it's not that he's thinking of you actively, no. He's actively avoiding thinking of you, and that's why you got the dream, right? Okay, 6 months? Okay, by the end of the year, okay. For Jessica's person, will they come back by the end of this year? Will they come back by the end of this year? Spirit, please. No. No. 7 of Wands. No. I will say that by the end of the year, the energy that you can expect on your person's end would be your person finding it very difficult to suppress, your person finding it very difficult to every sense of control that your person feels right now. By the end of the year, it is going to start feeling very heavy. All of this suppression, everything that your person is fighting against, it will all start to feel very heavy by the end of the year. But no, not coming back just yet. Yes, yes. I'm reading your comment and it says he tries to push thoughts of me away and they arise basically. Yes, that's why that energy, he does not want to feel it. If he feels it, you will not be getting the dream. When he suppresses it, when he pushes it away intentionally, that is where that energy has to go somewhere so it reaches out to you in your dream. So it's counterintuitive. It's not that he's thinking of you actively and that's why you have the dream. If he's thinking about you actively and he's allowing himself to feel, you probably will not be getting the dream, or the dream would not be so fierce or intense, or it would not be tugging at your energy, it would not be draining you. And if he's thinking about you actively, like he's allowing himself to feel all of his emotions and he's thinking about you, the dream will feel gentler, softer. It might also be his higher self coming through. It won't be very, it won't drain your energy. That's basically it. It will add to your energy, but it will not drain. So if you feel violated, if you feel like something's off, yeah, that's suppression coming through. The last card that I showed was 7 of Wands. This one or this one? 9 of Swords. Which one? The 7 of Wands. Okay, this one. Okay. Yeah, the 7 of Wands. This is the answer to the second question that you asked me. I do not see him coming back around by the end of this year, but there is going to be an energy shift on his end. By the end of this year, every single facade, every single suppression, every single mental the confirmation that he has today that, oh, okay, you know what, I can do this, I can absolutely do this, yeah, all of that's going to shatter by the end of the year. But he's not going to be reaching out. So your person right now is very put together, all right? Your person seems very confident right now that they are able to suppress. By the end of the year, he's not going to be able to suppress. He's going to feel a lot, and fighting the feelings that he has for you, fighting the thoughts that he has for you is going to start feeling like a burden. It's going to feel like an active war that he is a part of right now. I mean, that's about 6 months down the line. Right now, it feels easy to block your thoughts. Right now, it's just second nature to him to avoid thinking about you, to stop his thoughts from, kind of multiplying about you. But As the days go by, closer to the end of the year, he's not going to be able to do that. He won't reach out though. That energy is not coming through. He won't reach out. He won't come back. Not by the end of this year, but there's going to be an energy shift on his end. I'm just waiting for your thoughts. Absolutely, absolutely. So I would say by the end of the year, it looks like whatever, however put together your person is, it will start slipping. You won't be able to do it with this much ease. And of course, this is based on the current timeline. So unless you do something dramatic and shift the energy between the two of you, this seems to be the timeline of what's going to happen at the end of this year. Yeah, so if there's nothing, no energy shift on your end, then by the end of the year, that would be the energy shift on your person's end. Oh, when would that be? Well, then every time or whenever both of you run into each other, then I think it would help to do like an energy check-in at that point. Why does it scare you, August? Are you like, what about it scares you? Are you scared about how he's going to react, or are you scared about how you're going to be dealing with the pieces of that interaction afterwards? Like, what part of it scares you? No, like, if you run into him and his person, are you afraid that it's going to be a bad interaction? Or are you afraid that your feelings might come up to the surface? Are you afraid that maybe he's not going to acknowledge you? Or what is it that scares you about bumping into him? The emotional impact. Okay, okay. I think it's I think it's natural to be a little bit scared. I guess I would say it is going to affect you. I mean, you cannot escape that. So it's understandable why you might be a bit scared about that. But I would say you have time from now until August for you to work through these emotions. Well, the reason why they're still together is because your person's doing a really good job of suppressing what he feels. So suppressing what he feels is what is still bringing them together. By the end of the year, as it starts getting heavy for your person, then we'll probably have to do like another energy check. But right now, I think that your person's just doing a very good job of holding it all together, like suppressing their feelings, but just sticking to their thoughts. That's why.
it is definitely misaligned. I will say that, like, because your person has definitely not processed your breakup. That energy is coming through very, very strong, and your person keeps looking back. So it's it's unhealthy to have that kind of a foundation for a connection. Yes. Even when he was with you, the suppression of his feelings. Maybe that's why he's so confident. I mean, the King of Swords is like really confident, like someone who's like, you know what, I can do it. And that can also come off as arrogance as well, because you are overestimating how powerful your emotions are, or sorry, you're underestimating how powerful your emotions are. So I can see I can see why he would be leaning towards suppressing his emotions. But I will say that your person did have feelings for you. That energy is definitely coming through. Whether he suppressed it or didn't show you, the energy coming through is that there were feelings on his end. So you were not like crazy to think that way, or to have certain expectations of this connection. I would say it was aligned on your end because your person did have feelings for you. He thought the connection was too much work. Let me see if anything wants to come in. Yeah, no, the energy coming through is that your person may have, like, I understand where you're coming from, but I feel like from your person's perspective, the decisions that he is making makes logical sense to him. That's the energy that's coming through. I mean, that's also the King of Swords energy that's coming through. And look at the Nine of Swords over here. There's relief, but it's still bothering him. So in your person's mind, it's kind of like he's rationalized and justified things in a way that only he understands. You might not be able to understand his logic, and even from a neutral perspective, I don't know if someone else would be able to, but to your person, it feels like a rational decision. Oh, well, whatever the reason is, the message coming through to me is that it makes logical sense to him. And it's probably why he's able to stand by it, because it just makes sense to him. But by the end of the year, even that logic is not going to have the ground that it has at this point. That makes sense. And that aligns with the reading as well. But he never told you why not. I mean, with the King of Swords energy, it's more of I make the decision myself and I just follow through with it. I don't have to give someone else an explanation. It's more of I don't want people questioning me, so I'm just gonna do whatever it is that feels right to me, and I don't owe anyone an explanation. That's also a little bit of the King of Swords energy. It just feels right to me, and that's all that matters to me. The King of Swords can be a bit cold, like a little bit of the shadow side of it. They can be very cold, and not necessarily taking other people's feelings into consideration. I think that is him trying to logically explain certain things. But like I said, it makes sense to him. It might not make sense to you. It might not make sense to a neutral party as well. I'm just waiting for your thoughts. Okay, sure, sure. Take your time. Okay, I got your question. Are you here? I'm just waiting for you to say like, yes, you're here so that I got the question. Okay. Jessica's person in the third party situation. Will it work out? The energy coming through is yes, it will work out. The reason for that is I don't think she's going to let go. We have the Empress and the Ace of Cups coming through. So the energy coming through is it looks like it will work out between the two of them, and it will work out long term. That is the energy that's coming through. I will say that there are certain qualities to her that your person seems to want or to be with, even though it might not necessarily look good to the people around. Another energy that's coming through is she will not let him go. No. So looks like there is a chance of things working out. Let me get more information. But the answer coming through is quite clear. Yes, we have the Empress. I use another deck, and then we have the Empress coming out twice in the same question. So the answer is very clear. Looks like things will work out between the two of them. Another energy that's coming through right now is the Empress talks about mother energy, child. It could also be the sense of family that she provides him. That could also be another reason why things will work out between the two of them. Either it could mean another pregnancy for the two of them, or it could just mean that the fact that she has a child makes him feel like they are a family already, and he's not going to walk away from that, even if it's difficult, even if even if his heart says otherwise. It looks like he will not be able to let her go. And there's a lot of energy about like pregnancy, child, mother that's coming through as well. Oh, okay. That explains it. That actually explains a lot because we hold on. Let me show you the picture. I hope it's not glaring, but the Empress also talks about a child. Child in the womb. So there could be pregnancy coming through for the two of them in the future, near future, but it could also mean that the child that she has makes him feel like he's part of a family, and that's not something that he will let go. And it does look like emotionally that's probably what he wanted, and he does have that right now. It seemed, oh, okay. Well, the energy coming through doesn't seem like that to me at this point. It just seems like he wants that for himself. So even if maybe he was annoyed with the child, it does look like he wants to be a part of that kind of a connection. That makes sense. That actually makes sense. So either there could be a pregnancy coming through very soon for the two of them as well. That energy is coming through very strong actually. So that's a little bit of a heads up coming through for you. But either way, I think maybe taking on the role of a father, it's something that he wants. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I was like annoyed with the child, yeah, but even if he feels that way about the child, it looks like he wants to be a father. He likes that role, so it does look like he wants to be in that energy. Yeah, well, the energy coming through is it's about how he feels about the relationship. He feels like a father, so yeah, you're absolutely on point with that. Yes. It's not about her at all. It's actually about how she has made him feel, and she's made him feel like a father. Oh, yeah. So this is, I mean, the Ace of Cups kind of makes sense. This is like a fresh start for him. It's a fresh start of sorts, like another chance at being a father. It makes sense. And we also do have like a white dove over there. So, yeah, so he's not going to walk away from this. That energy is coming through. He's not going to walk away from being a father, at least not easily. And it looks like because of that, there's a tendency for this to work out long term. And if um, she becomes pregnant, then it will be even more sure that he's not going to let go of that relationship. Yes, it does feel like that. Yes, it's like he has another chance to be a father. It doesn't look like he minds all of that because, in his perspective, what she's given him is much more than that. So it doesn't matter if she's controlling him or is very controlling. No, it's that he gets to be a father with her. I think, like I said, he's looking at this from a very logical perspective. So for him, I guess the thought process could be, well, I get to be a father, and this is my family now. So I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to give it my all. That makes sense. I mean, even in the energy, like I'm tapping into his energy, it doesn't look like he posts anything or he's really into social media as such. He could be posting about other things, but it looks like, with respect to this connection, it's devoid of emotions. It's more of his logical mind working. So it kind of makes sense that he doesn't post anything about her. And she's in this connection. Yeah, she's definitely emotionally invested in this connection. That I will say, that's coming through in the energy, and it came through twice. Yes, but I think for him, what's more important is that he gets to be a father. And if, like I said, if there's a future pregnancy coming through, which honestly, it's coming in the cards very, very strongly, that would kind of make things even more solid for him to be with her. So, as of right now, the answer to your question is yes, it looks like it's going to work out between the two of them. Yeah, it could be that his focus is the child, like him being a father. Yes, that would align with the reading. Well, I think sometimes when you're not very in tune with your heart and your intuition, I think that, and especially if you haven't worked through your previous breakup, it can you can settle for less than what you deserve. And what seems like unhealthy behavior can seem normal to you. It can feel like you are willing to take that in exchange for maybe, in your person's case, being a father. So well, I'm just reading the part where you said, I can't imagine them actually being happy long term. For some people, it doesn't matter. Being happy in a connection doesn't matter as long as certain needs are being fulfilled. Sometimes that's all that matters. So, to some people, yes, it's important to be happy long term. But if you want to talk about like realistically, sometimes how connections can be, sometimes it's more I'm getting so and so out of this connection, and that's more than enough, and I can and that can keep me going in this connection. So it's not about happiness, maybe between the two of them, but maybe it's about the joy of being a father. If this is a pattern, then it looks like there are some unhealed wounds that he hasn't taken the time to understand or even maybe even revisit or process them. So if this is a behavioral pattern, it looks like he's actually going to continue being in that energy for a while. But yeah. Yeah, I would say convenience, yes. That's one way of looking at it. And it's more of, well, for some people being happy with each other means something, it's important. For other people, it's not necessarily that the people in the couple might need to be happy, but as long as they have certain needs being fulfilled, they're okay with that. Yeah. It could be that. It really could be that because, like I said, I think this is some kind of a fresh start for him emotionally. And there's also something about grieving a loss that's coming through. So this might be his way of making up. And maybe this matters to him more than being happy with the person that he's with. And again, that can stem from wounds that haven't healed, or that is his grieving process. There's so many different ways that it could come through because we haven't specifically tapped into that energy just yet. But there are different reasons why that could align. So yeah. Yeah, sometimes desperation makes us do things that may not necessarily align with our highest good, but it fulfills a need short term. Sometimes that can be it as well. And sometimes we live out the entire portion of our lives in that desperation or aligning to that desperation, and we never figure out how to align with our heart, how to align with our highest good. Sometimes that can happen. Sometimes you can figure out, sometimes you can take the time to heal. So it really depends on your person's individual soul's journey. So yeah. Yeah, sometimes the soul doesn't take on certain lessons. Sometimes it just is in that pain till the end, doesn't take the time to heal. That's no judgment over there. It really depends. Maybe you would have taken up other lessons. But for your person, yes, it looks like this is a long-term wound that's playing out. Yeah, well, it's one thing to recognize the pattern. It's another to actually work through how to undo that, you choosing that pattern of behavior. Those are two very different things. So he can recognize the same things, yes, absolutely, but to make a different choice would mean you have to take a different step and you have to have worked through your healing for that. So that takes time. That takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of healing. And it looks like in your person's case, they haven't worked through, they haven't taken the time to do that. That aligns with why he probably wants to be a part of a family or he wants to be a father. Oh, Hi, I'm taking in questions, but you'll have to send your questions through the registered link only. Yeah. Well, I think your person may have like a different definition of how he wants to be in that connection. That makes sense. I mean, that's their dynamic, and he seems to be okay with that for now. Do you have any more questions for me, or shall I close out your reading, Jessica? If anything, losing. Again, that would come from a place of healing on your end, right? You feel that way because there is healing happening, because you're understanding what is in alignment with your highest good for your person, because he keeps hopping into relationships. He hasn't necessarily taken the time to think about all of these things. Forget thinking. I don't think that he's even taken the time to process all of these things. Well, that's his journey. That it seems like that's his journey that's playing out. And I think that we cannot judge. We cannot judge because, like I said, it really depends on, like, before we reincarnate, we choose what lessons we want to take up in this particular lifetime. Some lessons we don't, some lessons we do. And that is very individualistic. So I don't think that we can judge. All we can do is wish them alignment to their highest good and the most peaceful path for that. I hope that you can find closure in this situation, Jessica. I feel like there's a lot that's happened between you and this person that also you need to take the time to kind of heal as well. But for now, this connection is working for him. For now, he gets what he wants from this connection. So for now, this is working out for him. Again, I would say that was his choice. And looking at the cards and the energy that came out, he seems to feel that it was justified to have made that decision. So his journey. I know you said that she did this to him, but the energy coming through is he made that choice. Yeah. Yes, he chose to do that. He made the choice. It was a very, very conscious choice that he made because we have the King of Swords coming out. No worries. I wish you the most peaceful path to healing from this connection as well. And I wish for closure for you as well. And thank you for choosing me to help you gain clarity in your situation, Jessica. I'll close out your reading now. And for those of you who might be here, I am closing out this entire live as well. Thank you so much for joining me all the way up until here. I'm usually here during the weekdays, and I'm usually here around this time. I'm usually here for about an hour and a half, right? Yes, Jessica, I saw your message just now. Yes. It does feel like the relationship, the connection is fulfilling a need that maybe might be coming from an unhealed place, but it's still a need that it's fulfilling. Good night and take care, all right? Alrighty, for those of you who are here, I do offer private readings outside of this. The private readings, with respect to them, they are pre-recorded video tarot readings. The minimum turnaround time for that, if you choose the express delivery, is about 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, it's about 3 to 5 business days. Now, the private readings are a lot more intensive. They're a lot more one-on-one, and they are pre-recorded, so those are another option. But these lives are an avenue for you to ask your questions and get immediate comfort, clarity, and confirmation. Really depends on what you're looking for at this point, all right? Okay, I'm going to be closing out this reading and ending this live stream. Take care, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.